We're going to clean up Washington, D.C., and we're going to make it a crime-free zone. There's not going to be any crime. We're going to have laws.
Good news, everyone. Trump's going to make crime illegal. Oh, thank God. And we're going to have laws. Laws against crime. Could you imagine? Hey, wait a minute. Does that mean that he wouldn't be allowed in Washington, D.C.? Just saying. Just saying. Well, he hasn't been convicted of any crime yet, at least. Now, look, as ridiculous as this entire thing sounds, it is ridiculous. His voters have decided to eat it up. Why? Well, unfortunately, there's a perception across the country that crime is out of control. In fact, a recent Gallup poll found that 63% of Americans describe the crime problem in the country at large as either extremely or very serious, and that is up from 54% when last measured in 2021. So millions of people, of Americans, are like, oh my God, I can't believe how out of control crime is. That said, that's not the reality here. Okay, the thing is, crime's actually down. When you ask those same Americans about crime in their local area, so this is stuff that they hear about and see in their local community, right? Only about 17% say the crime problem in their local area is extremely or very serious. Wait a minute. That's really interesting. They're not seeing it in their own area and yet believe that the rest of the country is a crime-ridden hellhole. That's what the results are telling me. Very interesting. Now, look, the fact that they're not seeing it in their own area kind of goes along with the FBI crime statistics from 2023, which shows that across the country, violent crime is down by 8%. In cities of more than 1 million people, violent crime is actually down nearly 15%. Murder is down 15.6% nationally and down 25% in cities of more than 1 million people. Robbery is down nearly 10% and burglary down nearly 12%. Now, we have seen an increase. One thing that went up is grand theft auto by about 10%. And of course, you do have instances of people that are stealing catalytic converters off people's cars. That sucks. Like, if you're a victim of having your catalytic converter stolen, that is awful. That is expensive to fix. It is annoying. I hear you. Now, also, I hear you. If you're a victim of crime, I totally can understand why you would feel, since you've been personally victimized, that it's out of control. I get it. I get it. I understand the fear. I understand, wanting to be careful. I understand all of that. And I empathize with you 100%. That said, the national statistics just do not support the idea that crime is rampant and out of control. That's just the reality here. Now, that said, I think one of the reasons why you have so many people that are feeling that crime is out of control in the country is because they continue to see news reports that really ramp up the idea, the feeling that crime is out of control. In fact, you had a lot of stories where you had, this idea put into people's heads that we're facing billions and billions of dollars in organized retail thefts. There are videos that have went viral of these mobs coming into stores and just stealing things, running out. In fact, last year, the National Retail Federation released an estimate that organized retail crime was responsible for nearly half of the $94.5 billion in store merchandise that disappeared in 2021. Now, that said, the National Retail Federation later on retracted that claim. They got called out for it. There was investigation, and it turns out, according to experts, organized groups were likely responsible for just about 5% of store merchandise that ended up disappearing. So it wasn't those flash mobs that go into the store. That was about 5% of the total disappearance, where they were claiming before that it was about half. Still a problem, still not good, but massively blown out of proportion, which again is basically what the entire issue of crime is in the United States. It happens, it's not good, it sucks, it hurts a lot of people, but it's massively inflated, and people unfortunately feel like in this country that it's all going to hell. that there's crime everywhere, except for where they're actually living. There you go. Now, that said, the U.S. is experiencing a crime wave. Wait a minute, didn't I just spend this entire segment so far debunking the idea that the United States is experiencing a crime wave? Well, it's a different kind of crime wave. You see, it's happening to the vast majority of American workers, who each year have an estimated $50 billion stolen from them. Every year. According to an analysis by the Economic Policy Institute, this crime has a name. It's called wage theft and surpasses all robberies, burglaries, and motor vehicle thefts combined. And worse, the majority of these stolen wages are never recovered by workers who are disproportionately lower wage, women, people of color, and immigrants. So this is the real crime spree that's going on in this country. And it is hurting us. It is hurting this country. It is hurting the most vulnerable. It is hurting the workers. Now, Trump, when he talks about crime, guess what? He's not going to do a damn thing to stop wage theft. In fact, when he was president, he actually opposed all measures that would protect workers from wage theft. One program, in fact, allowed employers to self-report minimum wage and overtime violations. Oh, yeah, so they can self-report. We're just going to police ourselves. Wow. Well, how do you think that worked out? Not good. In fact, it gets worse, because if they self-reported, the companies would then avoid fines and even get immunity from worker lawsuits. So basically, this is, hey, the company, well, you know what? We stole your money, but we get to keep it, and you don't get to sue us for it. All we have to do is just tell you that we stole your money. Ha, 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 we stole your money. Look at all the wages we stole, and we stuffed right into our pockets, and you don't get to do anything about it. But we're just following the law, because all we had to do is just tell somebody that we stole your money. That is horrifying. That's what Donald Trump wanted to do to you, to make it easier for these companies to steal your money and then laugh at you for it. There's more. Trump also tried to rescind a rule prohibiting employers from stealing worker tips by restricting them to untipped workers, including management. So here, the Trump administration said, we're just going to allow you, the boss, to take tips from your workers who are making the tip minimum wage, which is like $3 an hour, and then put it in our pockets. They can get away with it. That's what they tried to do, among other things, by the way. So look, in reality, Donald Trump, who is a criminal himself, I believe, would enable more criminal activity against you by allowing your boss to steal your wages. And he's doing this, trying to get into office, again, by scaring you, lying to you, gaslighting you into believing that it's not the boss that's stealing your money, that it's mobs of random black people, because of course there has to be racism in this, that are trying to rob you. When in reality, the real robbers, the biggest thieves in this country, are the ones that are wearing three-piece suits.